A fog has lifted and a mist has cleared. All is good in the godless land of my imaginings, or the many-godded land. I read someone's paean to his people. I think some of us feel this people thing, maybe many, maybe most, I really don't know, but I make no connection between myself and my racial or ethnic inheritance. Others do, which is fair. Were I too much, would I be ashamed of or proud of? It appears that if I need to feel good about my heritage, I will adjust its history and behaviors accordingly, if I need. The obvious poetic phrase would be, a man hears what he wants to hear and disregards the rest. If you need good news from your past, if your self-esteem depends upon it, truth is just optional. The DeSantis feared that if any history were taught that was critical of the European behaviors in the Americas, from ethnic cleansing to enslaving, the poor descendants would not be able to function, is apparently true. The burden of guilt would be unbearable unless we discover another path to identity or need differently. The three monotheisms are unique in proclaiming a loving and forgiving Father who demands worship and commands slaughter. Well, what can you do? And these fathers do, no ifs, ands, or buts. There are hundreds of bloodthirsty deities all over human history, but none claimed to be good dads until the big three. I think this lack of accountability believers accept ensures they will always need fantasy to survive the truth of their gods, and they will, not every day, forever, but always maintain a threat. Obedience of their righteous deity will always sanction murder, and they will call it justice. This terrible need, pathetic, addictive need. It is Biden's Catholic plight at the deepest heart of our civilization. Daddy in the sky need. King Lear says reason, not the need. I'd say always reason the need. The need is the reason indeed. So I wonder this, when I say these thoughts to a friend or enemy, do they think of me? Poor fellow, he has no pride in his race, his ancestors, his people, his religion, Douglas Murray style. It's true, I don't. I'm fine. I don't know, and I am not claiming this as a superior position to hold or feel. It just is. So when people say, for instance, the Armenians have a right to a homeland, I would say that would be nice, but I'd not live there. I'm not an Armenian Orthodox. I don't feel part of that family. I have family members who I love, but they disapprove of me, I know, because I do not believe in that God. Ha ha ha. In that way, perhaps, it is that. One feels overwhelmed by people's claims to indigeneity. And I have to say, so what? People rush around taking DNA tests to discover who they are, which is as meaningful to me as Australia on a garbage can. Astrology on a garbage can. But this universal construct of my people seems to be in every person except in me, perhaps. I took an Armenian history class for a while with the amazing George Bunuchian. I admit feeling proud to be an Armenian because he was. And he spoke of the Armenians, in the Middle Ages as Highland brigands, tribal chieftains, warlords. A poor fellow student piped up and said, "Tell me about accountants. I'm an accountant. I don't identify with Highland brigands. Tell me about nice guys in Teaneck." It was a remarkable fellow in this way. The great professor was at a loss. Do these identities accrue because the group is sinned against? The Irish, the Jews, the Welsh, the Scots will all, the Scots will all say, "I'm a Celt." Among the Armenians and even the English, there are many laudable folk to be proud of, but it doesn't enter my mind. I'm not proud of Shakespeare in any way that connects me to his Englishness. He was a brilliant dramatist who wrote when people like him were valued as propagandists, it must be said. He might have happened in Chile or Botswana. Maybe he or she has, and we are too busy extolling Shakespeare to investigate. I should, given what these identities are supposed to mean, feel a loss, an emptiness, a deprivation, and I don't. And to repeat, I'm willing to think I am or can be like this because I am precisely white and male and English. the belligerent ruling class. But there are many among my clan who insist being English is a badge of distinction. They believe all that hogwash. All in all, it seems to be a need, a universal clamoring for validity, to be proud of being this or that. I have a feeling maybe I don't do pride. I am called a prideful man often, once to my face, maybe a million times not to my face. So maybe submerging the self in tribal identity as merely good manners. Auda Abu Taiz, a Hawitat warrior in Lawrence of Arabia. He will shoot dead a member of another tribe for drinking water from his well. Famously, in the Seven Pillars, Lawrence describes him as being often out of sorts and grumpy until he had killed the Banu al-Harith. Very sexy. Omar Sharif and Anthony Quinn make them immortal. Am I Lawrence then? A critic of my own tribe, or a man alone, an individuated man, or I don't know, or maybe do these prideful men need to be attached to a loser group? Lawrence is rare among the English for all the fascinating reasons we know of. I can't tell, I'm lost in it. But when I hear it as an explanation or an apologia, I can't hear it. Tribalism, yourself to your heart's content, do, but I shall never respect that choice. It is the core of war. The estimable Ruth Weiss, W-I-S-S-E, wrote that Tevye, in the novel of Fiddler on the Roof, does not forgive his daughter for falling in love with and marrying a Polish man, presumably Catholic. That the play and the movie have him relent, bowing to wokeness in 1964. Part of me was very impressed by this statement, this non-compromising tribal insistence. But then I had to admit that this cultural or religious or tribal rigor will make war inevitable and is racist. And this, like the Bedouin revived as Fremen in Dune, for those of us missing Lawrence, does call out the primal, which again allows you to shoot the other tribe drinking from your well. Can we sustain that which is sustaining in this tribal and not be in this tribalism and not be relentlessly at war? Could there have been long hours of negotiation before 1948 in Palestine between Arab and Jew, Britain and America told to piss off and don't meddle for a change, to sort out the creation or recreation of a Jewish homeland? Well, it wasn't tried. In those days, and still, certain cultures assume a right to just say, move away, get out. Europe and America know all about these behaviors, and I guess it is this connection that really riles me up. Peace ends up being weakness. War is what we have done for so long, how we define ourselves. I keep hearing again, never again, as we will never again be so passive. I ain't no peacenik, but I'm not defensive about the trappings of my identity. Say what you want about my people, and I'll know what you mean. I was not born into that wee race. I was born into the big, big one. And if I have a people, I have chosen them, not they me.